Hey folks, I'm PJ Ash here at Warbird Alley, Warbird Review, and tonight we're going to be talking about the KI-84 Frank that is made by ESM models and distributed by VQ Warbirds. That's www.vqwarbirds.com. Now this airplane is slightly smaller than other ones that we've done. It comes in at 72-inch wingspan. It's designed around a 20 to 30 cc gas motor. Some folks are putting 4 strokes around the 150 to 180 range, and of course the airplanes are designed to use gas, nitro, and electric as well. So tonight we're going to dive into the airplane, kind of look at what it's made of and how it's designed. One thing that I want to say before we actually open the box, and you can see we haven't opened it yet, this is like a 4-ply cardboard box that these things are shipped in, and I got to tell you, this came all the way from China, and it's not dinged at all. So hopefully that means the airplane inside is good as well. So without further ado, let's dive inside. Well, here we are with the ESM KI-84 Frank 72-inch model. This is all the contents out of the box, and the reason I wanted to show everyone this has been untouched. I literally just pulled it out of the box and set it on the table. As you can see here with the wing, or maybe even here with the cowling, that everything is packaged in some sort of a foam wrap and then with plastic over it. Now of course I haven't opened up every single thing, but really from the initial view it looks like this airplane has been packaged pretty well. So what we're going to do now is just take the components piece by piece. I get to unwrap it, so it's kind of like a Christmas for me, and just kind of take a look at what this airplane is made of. Now, as I try to with all models, always people want to know what is the measurement inside of the cowling. The best way to do this, as you can kind of see, the cowling flange is open as it gets bigger on this side and on this side. So why don't we start here and just try to look at the opening. Just the opening itself is just around 4.5 inches. And then as I try to go from the edge of the cowling on this side to the edge on this side, you're looking just around 7 inches. So inside here is about 7 inches. Okay, now we'll flip it over on this end and just take a real quick look as far as in here. So on this end, you're looking at right around 8.5 inches. So you do have quite a bit of room in the cowling for a nice single engine gas motor. That's kind of what I know. I'm actually going to be using the EME 35cc, which is a little bit on the powerful side, but it fits in the cowling, and you can swing a more scale bladed prop. Well, let's start by looking at the fuselage, and I put the cowling with it as well. Just wanted to take a moment and show some of the detail that comes with this cowling. You know, it looks like it's got gun ports, cowl flaps. Cowl flaps, I assume, are cut out for exhausts, because you can see there's plenty of room in here, which we'll kind of get to that here in a few more minutes about engine selection. Now, on another note, again, the KI-84, look at the detail as I pan down the fuselage. This is a fiberglass fuselage that, of course, has been pre-painted by the factory. And I like the paint job as well. Now, of course, the cockpit here is, well, a slab, slim to none, and that's designed so you can put a pilot bust in there. I know on the KI-84, it did not have a very large cockpit anyway. VQ Warbirds does sell a cockpit kit for this airplane that's got very scaled instruments, so forth and so on. Turn the airplane upside down. You can see the tray for all of your electronics, your servos and so forth. And of course, back up in there, you can see the room for your fuel tank. The fuel tank does come with the airplane, so that square that you see down there really does fit. Forward, looking back into the fuselage, you can see again, you have the pull cable. Not much as far as form or so forth and so on, but again, this is made out of a pretty durable material. It's not very flimsy as I'm squeezing it. And of course, like most ESM airplanes, the tail unit here is designed to come off. It's taped on here. This way you can put either a scale tail wheel on, or you can put the wire tail wheel that comes with the kit. Coming back up here, I want to show you that I did not draw that, but that looks like it's off-centered, and it's not. It's calculated for the thrust that you need, the compensation. So of course here's the cowling, here is the fuselage that I think looks fantastic. Now our review takes us to the wing section, and this wing is all wood. Again, it's painted at the factory to match the fuselage perfectly, and I have done nothing but take the wing out of the box. You can see that there are servo hatches for the flaps, and one thing that I really appreciate is the fact that they got the flaps correct, meaning that these are split flaps, which is scaled to the airplane. I've seen so many ARF manufacturers just put regular flaps. I saw a P40 that just had regular flaps, and the P40 actually has split flaps just like this. Now, one thing that I probably will change that I don't like are the CA hinges that come with the kit on this. Now, these are regular, really nice hinges, and I know that on other parts they've got Warbird style. I'm not a big fan of CA hinges on large airplanes. I've never had issues of them popping off, but again, that's a personal preference. Another thing is for the scale retracts, this location right here, I'm putting my hand down and I can actually squeeze the covering. That's designed to be cut out, and the airplane does come with regular landing gear, but for us scale guys who want to put retracts in, they have it designed to where if you do regular landing gear, you can just cut out the block without retracts, but if you want retracts, then you're going to have to cut this out. Another thing I always try to do is look inside the internal workings of the wing, and as you can tell, it looks like it's all been laser cut, really nicely put together. Of course, there's the wheel well for your retract version. And so again, the airplane is covered, it's all wood, it's covered in a, people think it's like a monocoat fabric, and that's not the case. This is actually covered in a really heavy duty material that's then able to be painted. I mean, I put my fingers over this and it's not scraping off the paint. This is not a sticker, nor is this, at least from what I can tell, this has been painted on. So again, this is the wing, and so far so good. Okay, looking here, we have the stab and elevator as well with the rudder. And let's start here at the rudder. You know, again, it's just a nice little piece. It's curved where it's supposed to be. It actually has the scale bottom that actually conforms to the fuselage. Another thing is that as I run my finger through it, this is an actual solid piece. It's just not open. Now, I don't know if that's how the real one was made or not, but again, I don't know the weight, but it is very light. Let's move over to the stab. Now, one thing I've noticed here that I like is that the elevators are scale, meaning it has this scale notch in it, and that is where the weight was, and the weight would counterbalance the actual elevator. Just nice again to see some scale detail. Let me flip this one over so you can see the gray bottom. Again, this does have, it looks like the hinges that I'll be changing out. Now, these do have lightning holes that I can tell from here. And again, looking inside, I'm not going to be able to get much as way as in there, but it is all wood, covered exactly like the wing. Okay, what we have here is basically accessories. You know, your hardware and everything, one of the things they do real well is they package everything in there. And I'm not going to open up every individual package, but you can see you've got hardware here. You've got a nice set of wheels. These are the blocks as well if you want to do the regular gear, as well as the fuel tank that I mentioned earlier. That square fuel tank, I can tell you, matches the fuselage, so it slides in. Here's something else that I really appreciate. I've noticed that a lot of the ESM airplanes through VQ Warbirds does this. This is actually where the wings come together in the bottom and the wheels go into a wheel well, which goes in conjunction with this. So when you have the wing, you just don't have this open gaping hole where you can see everything in. They actually have this where it slides in. After you glue the wing halves together, you put this over and it just makes everything contour. Another piece that's really nice too is this little tiny scoop that you'll see on the bottom, the air inlet scoop, probably a oil cooler scoop, or I don't know, maybe an entrance to a flux capacitor for all I know. But regardless, it's scale, and you know, we appreciate that as scale Warbird guys. One last package that's very important is this just this little accessory package. Of course, I mean, this has the wing spar that gets glued on either side. That's not very exciting, but what I do want to show you is this on this side. Let me flip it back over. This is actually a template that's laser cut. They have one for the main wing, and then they also have one for the elevator stab section. And with these holes and this notch and stuff, this allows you to line up the airplane, the wings if you will, perfectly with each other using the template. Then you know when you glue the airplane the incidence is correct. I felt that that was important enough to show. Okay, last but certainly not least, of course, is the canopy, and I think a scale model is made or broken with the canopy if it's not done right. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this. Of course, the inside doesn't matter, but there's a little bit of spray. But one of the things I appreciate with the canopy is when I put it back on the fuselage here in a minute, you'll notice the back part is white, which lines up with the fuselage. As far as the lines go, that all looks pretty good. There's a little bit of overwear on the paint, but that can be easily chipped off and cleaned up. Overall, the canopy looks nice. This one actually feels pretty stout. I know that some of the earlier ESM models had canopies that were a little thin. I know that VQ Warbird sells canopy upgrades that are unpainted but from a thicker plastic, and I think they have an upgrade on this one as well. That might be a kind of a neat option if you decide to do a sliding canopy, but overall, this canopy does look pretty nice. Alright folks, how cool is this? This is the KI-84 all put together, kind of, sort of. You know, I love the Japanese Zero like any other guy, and what's cool about this airplane, it's something slightly different than your, you know, run-of-the-mill Japanese Zero. Hopefully one day somebody will come out with a 80-inch plus, but for those guys who are happy with the 74-inch, especially the guys that are dealing with the larger electrics, plenty of room for a battery in the compartment, of course, with gas motors. There's so many options. Again, I didn't put the canopy on because I have to cut it out, but see this white stripe? It goes on so it all matches really nice. Again, I'm excited about this one because those of y'all who know me know that I like airplanes that are a little bit different. And so of course the KI-84 I think fits that bill for a 74-inch airplane, or 72-inch airplane, sorry. It's a beautiful airplane and I love the scheme. I know that white is going to shine in the sky. So again, this is the KI-84 from ESM that is distributed by VQ Warbird. So if you're interested to get more information on this airplane, go to www.vqwarbirds.com. Well, that's about it for the KI-84. I'm PJ Ash, and I am with Warbird Alley, and this is the Warbird Alley Warbird Review.